Donald Trump launches yet another NFT collection. The Fed has decided to not raise rates, and they even said they're going to cut rates 3 times in 2024. What is that going to mean for Bitcoin and the crypto markets? We have news from Polygon. We have a hack at Year in Finance. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We have Dan from the Chart Guys joining us to break down the charts. That being said, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, and stale information, repackage that thing up in a place. Bitcoin's moving. 45,000?
No, 42.
Damn it.
You know what else is moving? Donald Trump is moving money around. So here we have this video from Collect Trump Cards. So this video here, let's take it. The Bitcoin daddy himself, or the NFT daddy, whatever you want to call him.
Hi, everyone. This is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. My last 2 Trump digital trading card collections sold out in just hours. And now I'm back with my latest series called the Mugshot Edition. I wonder where that came from. The Mugshot Edition. 47 all-new stunning cards, and here is the best part. I'm doing 2 important things for my Trump collectors. For the first time, we're creating a real physical Trump card. Purchase 47 digital cards and we'll mail you a beautiful trading card. It is an authentic piece of the suit I wore when I took that now famous mugshot, and it was a great suit, believe me, a really good suit. It's all cut up and you're gonna get a piece of it. I'll be autographing some of them. A true collector's item. This is something to give to your family, to your kids and your grandchildren. With the purchase of 47 of the Trump digital trading cards, you will also be invited to join me for a gala dinner at my beautiful Mar-a-Lago, my home in Florida. You've perhaps heard of it. It's become a pretty famous place. We just had our first dinner for my collectors, and we had a lot of fun together. That was a great evening. That was a fantastic evening. Some people call these cards pop art or modern art. I wish I looked as good as I do on those cards. That I can tell you. They give me muscles where, believe me, I don't have them. I wanted to keep my Trump digital trading cards at the same price, $99 each. So go to collecttrumpcards.com. It's really easy to buy. They sold out incredibly fast the last time, and I think the Mugshot Edition will sell out even faster. So don't miss out. Go to collecttrumpcards.com. Go right now and collect your own exclusive piece of American history, and we'll all have fun together. Have a good life.
Have a good life. Rob, what do you think about his muscles?
His muscles, they're amazing.
They're amazing.
They're amazing.
The greatest muscles ever. Do you like muscles or clams better? Don't answer that question. So, yes, that is true. People were like, nowadays, everyone's like, wait, is it AI or is it really true? It is true, guys. This is the collecttrumpcards.com website for only $99. Now, all jokes aside, here's a cool thing, right? You can buy with credit card, too. So for the average user, it's something they're used to, right? Go in there, you sign up, you enter your credit card information, you buy one of the cards. As he mentioned, if you buy 47 of them, you get a piece of his suit, the very wonderful suit, as Donald Trump said, the best suit ever made that he wore. You'll get a piece of that he wore in the mugshot. Also, he mentioned the dinner as well. And while there are some reverberating effects here, as his new NFTs have brought up the price of his other 2 collectible NFTs, almost doubling in price. Robin, feel free to comment on anything you'd like, whether it's his muscles, his shirt, or the actual NFT.
Man, you know what? This is, I got a little excited when I saw this, right? I mean, he is, I would say, above 50% chance, in my opinion, on becoming the next president again. And with that said, he's promoting NFTs. obviously.
But he's not calling them NFTs, or he's calling them digital cards.
If you look at the bottom of the video, there's a text on there. It says NFT something digital property, and so he might not say it's an NFT, but he knows. He knows it's NFT. It's not like
Of
he's
course
just,
he knows, but
yeah,
he's not
exactly,
telling
exactly.
people.
Yeah, well, that's also, might not be a good look to be running for office promoting NFTs.
Mm.
So, he can promote NFTs without calling them NFTs, right?
Mm.
It is what it is.
It is.
But the thing is I like the real world tangibles in this. And so there's actually something there, right? There's some substance to this collectible. Instead of simply hitting generate on some AI software to create 10,000 of a different different JPEG with a different hat or a different cigar in their mouth. Here you have something that, well, takes that exact premise where you just generate a bunch of stuff, but there's something tied to it, right? Real world assets. In this particular case, it's a piece of his tie is something. You get a little sliver of his tie.
And his greatest suit.
Is piece of his suit. And then also you get dinner as well. Go to Mar-a-Lago. Are you going to buy 47 of them? It's $4,700. You going to buy 47?
Listen, I'm not going to lie, man. It would be cool to have dinner with the president, whether it's Trump or Biden or anyone else. Even if it was Biden and I had an extra 10K, I would buy it. I would go have dinner with Joe Biden. I would go have dinner with Donald Trump. And guess what I would do? I would talk to them about Bitcoin and crypto. So, but only 47. I thought it was 100, but I guess the 100 one, if you buy 47, you get the suit, and then you get a dinner at Mar-a-Lago. So that's $4,700. You can go have dinner. You trying to go have something?
No, the 4,700 gets you the
Suit
the
and
physical one.
And the dinner.
No. The dinner is
Pretty sure
you get a chance to go to have a dinner. I think it's
like a raffle.
Yeah.
You trying to go halvesies or what?
On $4,700 NFT card.
Bro, imagine if we go there and we just talk his ear off about crypto. That would make for great content, by the way. You know what else makes for great content? Is when we have channel sponsors. That's how we make our content, and we want to give a big thank you to Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business and you want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, there is no better company that'll help guide you than Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. We do have Dan joining us in a little bit, but first, let's talk about the Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell, Fed hold rates steady and are indicating 3 rate cuts in 2024. Robin? 3 rate cuts in 2024. What does that mean? Why is that important? Borrowing money becomes cheaper. More liquidity flows into the markets. And we know what happens when liquidity flows into crypto markets, i.e. 2020 when everyone got airdropped $2,000. Prices rally. You have rate cuts. You have liquidity coming in. You have a spot ETF. You have the halving. You have Sin City Crypto. How could you not be bullish? Robin?
About time.
About time, huh?
About time. So it's been meeting after meeting after meeting where we're going to stay the course, target range, 2%. That's pretty much it. Just that on repeat. But now you have, now we're finally in an environment where we can say, hey, cuts are coming. The printer's turning on. Money is going to hit the system. And yeah, which is also good. Remember the one thing we talked about yesterday, if you watched yesterday's show, we were discussing the potential bull run that's coming in 2024. And there's really nothing out here that in my opinion, could reverse the trend of Bitcoin to where it's not going to hit all-time highs, where it's not going to go into that bull market. And the only thing that came to mind was if we went into a deep recession. And well, if we're cutting rates and you're encouraging spending from the markets, and well, the recession will be behind us, right? And so there's really nothing stopping this market at this point. If we don't go into recession, there's nothing. It's.
I don't even think a recession would stop.
And even then, I don't think it would. But I mean, you could You can sit here and say that crypto and traditional markets are no longer correlated, but it is still a commodity, and commodities still move with the markets, right?
With the commodities markets, not with the stock market.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that commodities do bleed off as well. Not all of them. There's certain sectors like we saw the price of oil and fuel go through the roof during the last bull market, or during the recession, excuse me. So when we came out of the bull market, we were going into recession. Everything tanked, but oil went up. So that's an example of one commodity that bucks the trend. But this is an investment vehicle, Bitcoin, crypto, and so I still think if we went into a recession, we could have a situation where the markets also pull down as well. I until it breaks that trend permanently, you still got it. You still got to
argue we've been in a recession, right? Since last year.
Yeah, and so and Bitcoin also went down to 15,000.
Yeah, but the traditional markets have
traditional markets have bounced back. Gold has bounced back.
To rally.
What I'm saying is that it's since the top, Bitcoin and crypto has followed the markets. Maybe there's a divergence. Maybe there's different time periods where they are uncorrelated. But generally speaking, the S&P 500 and Bitcoin both peaked out within 2 months of each other, and then they both kind of bottomed out within 2 months of each other. And so so with that said, we go into a recession, everything bleeds off. I'm going to expect the markets to pull back. Now, I would like to sit here and put my crypto hat on and be like, hey, we bucked the trend. Everything can go to shit. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin will magically rise out of the ashes. I think so. But realistically, looking at history, that says otherwise.
No, you're wrong. You know who's not wrong is President Nayib Bukele.
Saying this time is different?
This time is different.
Okay.
In honor of Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, here is a clip of Nayib Bukele speaking on the Federal Reserve back when Tucker Carlson was still on Fox News.
The Federal Reserve is nothing federal and has no reserves, right? So they do print more money, and they rob you from your wealth and from your savings, and that's immoral. But it's not only immoral, but it also destroys some basic economic principles, like, for example, saving or your pension. From these financial publications, they will print lies. But you know, there's something special about lies, is that they don't last long. They don't last long.
We do have news from Argentina we're going to share a little later, but we do have Dan joining us from the Chart Guys, so let's bring him on. Dan. How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's up?
Long time no see, man. How you been?
I'm good. How you doing?
We're excellent, man. We're excited. The markets are back. The bull market's back, right?
Yeah, we're all right for now, for sure. There's one thing that we need to be cautious of that I will let you know about when we pull up the chart here in just a second. But yeah, it's essentially, what happened is what I refer to as a sucker punch, where bulls get complacent. Oh, we're only going up. And then, oh yeah, we can drop 5% in a day. Some overconfident longs get liquidated. And now it's essentially, I view that as a sucker punch. The bears sucker punch the bulls in the mouth out of nowhere. And now the bulls are ready to fight. And so this is the response, and we're seeing some bounce. And so the question is, can the bears continue to win while the bulls are ready to fight? Or is it just one sucker punch and then that's it? And so looking at the chart, what that looks like
Dan,
is, again,
before you move forward, I want to note, like, from a biological standpoint, bears hibernate in the winter. That's all.
They do. They do. But I don't think that's a good trading strategy.
Fair enough. Okay. Sorry, go ahead. You had a Bitcoin chart.
So the sucker punch is the big red. All right. That's obvious. And now the bulls are ready to fight, and they're battling back a bit. They're throwing some hands or hooves or whatever, and they're winning a bit. All right. So now the question is going to be, do we confirm a daily downtrend? When's the last time Bitcoin has confirmed a clear lower high and lower low? And I'd have to say we're really going all the way back. It hasn't happened since this bull move started. So that would tell us something is shifting if that happens. And we watch retracement size on the bounce because we are having a bullish reaction to the FOMC, as you mentioned. But we got a 50% bounce retracement, which is a good start. That at least gives the bulls a chance to keep this control. The other thing we're watching is the weekly stair step, which is just a higher low every single week. And we held the low of last week by a couple $100. Ooh. And when I was on last week, we were talking about ETH. and you were talking about entries. I said, well, I'm a lot more confident when we have weekly consolidation to have a better risk reward entry. And ETH has started the weekly consolidation now. That stair step pattern has broken. And we know ETH has been weaker than Bitcoin. So it makes sense it's starting its weekly consolidation first. It's the same thing. Does ETH confirm a daily downtrend as a result of the next bounce? Or is that sucker punch all that the bears can muster? And so in terms of, what's going to happen, again, I don't predict using technical analysis. I try and determine probabilities and position. We know that the current low of the sucker punch is the most important short-term support. And I would expect, that we are going to top out in the next couple of days and at the least tighten up. And if we tighten up and then break bull, we know the bulls have complete control. If we set that lower high and then bear volume shows up, then we're going to look for weekly consolidation. But I am, you just talked about correlations with the broader market. I do always watch it for sentiment. Again, it's not tick for tick correlated, but sentiment is definitely a factor. And we have, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ right now, as we speak, are knocking on the door of all-time highs. So we're still seeing confidence. And again, I just know, whenever something is the case for me, I just magnify that by at least a few 100,000 people, a few 100,000 other traders or whatever have that same mindset. And for me, I am way more comfortable, longing crypto and staying bullish as long as the broader market is doing this. And the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ are monthly cup and handles. And so, we got a one-way ticket with all-time highs. We just hit all-time highs. SPY adjusted for dividend is at all-time highs as we speak. So that is a big confidence booster for, again, just sentiment overall.
And I'm looking at the traditional markets here, Dan. We did mention right before you came on, Fed said they foresee 3 rate cuts in 2024. I see the Dow Jones is up 200 points, as you showed. S&P's up about a little more than 0.5%. So all green in the markets. I do want to ask you about. I wanted to ask you about Cardano. Cardano saw a pretty big rally. Had a little pullback. It's up 8%. What does the structure look like on ADA? And
yeah, I like ADA. It last night I was looking for the 4-hour higher low, a bit of an inverse head and shoulders type of pattern where we had the dip down, big enough bounce where we know the higher low is most likely, and then we confirm that uptrend. So that tells us bulls back in control very quickly after brief consolidation, and we're testing the high right now. So no red flags. Key short-term support for me would be, I love simple statements in trading and technical analysis. And for me, if 5422 is support, the bulls have control. They don't have anything to worry about. And we're testing that recent high of 6488. And so again, just hanging out near the highs. Anything near the highs is certainly remaining strong. And so this is one of them. Any name that held daily EMA 12 through the sucker punch is a lead bull. It's one of our stronger altcoins. And you can look at, ICP, daily EMA 12 held into continuation, and a bunch of RNDR held daily EMA 12 and then hit higher highs. So I love using those EMA 12s for trend guide, just a nice visual guide. If that's holding, bulls keep control. Again, simple statement.
Dan, I think you caught the Trump promo video there in the beginning, his new NFT line. It is launching on the Polygon network. The last, I'd say like 2 weeks, I've been eyeballing Polygon. It is not performing well versus BTC since I think it was February. And so we've seen Polygon really do well during big announcements, say partnerships, and I just have a feeling that all the other top projects in the space have rallied recently, and I feel like Polygon's left behind. Do you see any potential for this thing to break out, or is there any kind of prices that you're looking at for big movement or resistance or support?
Yeah, volatility is definitely coming in the sense that the good sign is we're holding the sucker punch low. So bulls want to see that happen. And we just have a tightening 4-hour range right now. So if we fail this resistance of 9017, then we'll just keep tightening up into tomorrow. And we can anticipate that tomorrow we will likely see a good bit of volatility. Again, got to hold that sucker punch low. And if we do that, it's not a bad setup we have to see, as you mentioned, Matic BTC has to show us something, and it has had a decent little bounce here off the lows recently. Weekly time frame bounce. Yeah, I mean, it's worth watching, and I liked it. You mentioned it a little while ago, and I liked its healthy weekly consolidation here, right off EMA 12, no red flags. It's just trading a bit range bound, obviously, and a bit sideways. And so the potential is there. Again, if confidence stays high, the broader market and Bitcoin, and if that's the case, then you're just looking around for the next name to pop. And Matic is definitely one of the laggards, as you mentioned, not performing nearly as much over the last couple of weeks. And it is worth keeping an eye on. If we lose that sucker punch low of 81, that would make me a lot less interested. But as long as that is support, and as long as we keep tightening up here, then we're within striking distance. And also just the round psychological $1 number. As a former penny stock trader, that level has a lot of power when you get through it, whether you're falling through it for bear follow through or breaking out above it. So, the setup is there where if we break recent highs, then we should see a nice move over $1. So must hold that 81-cent low.
Awesome. Dan, I'm looking at the layer ones, right? We had Solana, massive pump. Avalanche, massive pump. Cardano, big pump. I feel like Polkadot is next in line for a big pump. They're in layer one. They're essentially, some call it a layer zero. They have these parachains. What does the Polkadot chart look like? It was trading around that $5 range for a very long time. We did see a breakout above $7, up 17% over the last 7 days. Is the structure telling you we could see a big 40, 50, 60% rally like we saw in maybe Avalanche or Solana, or what are some levels you're looking at as far as resistance?
I'm not sure I'd go that much. As I mentioned, we're holding daily EMA 12 on the sucker punch drop, so that's a good sign for the bulls. Very healthy sideways consolidation right now. Again, if I'm a bull, I'm just going off that low, and so 628 is now the most important level for me. And we just got a tightening range similar to Matic that we just looked at, where the 4-hour time frame is just tightening up, and this is going to break. If not today, if we set another lower high here, then tomorrow it will break. And we'll either test the sucker punch low on a bear break, or we'll test that high 769 on a bull break. And if we do get this daily bull flag confirming the next resistance level that I'm looking at, 790 is a big one. You want to look and find a level and say, if we get over this level, we're at the highest price that we've seen in X amount of time. And that 790 level, we could say that's the highest price that we've seen in 3 months if we get to that level. So that would be a nice next hurdle for the bulls to try and get over. Just looking at the longer term timeframes here. Again, there's some names like Solana, as you mentioned, where you get over the short term resistance and the party has started, obviously the last few months, because there's such a lack of resistance. And there are so many coins where, you look at DOT, if you clear 790 and the $8, there's not a ton of nearby resistance. So that is something that can open things up. That's the names that you see that get that big 20% breakout is because of the lack of nearby resistance. So we're looking at that recent high and then 790 if we're going to get into the clear a bit.
I think we're going to see a $12 to $15 Polkadot by the end of the year. I really do. The charts might not show it, but I just with everything going on and the Polkadot ecosystem, they continue to lead in developer activity across the layer ones. It's really the only layer one outside of maybe Tron that hasn't really had a big rally. And we've seen what happened with rallies. We see the layer one pump, and then we start seeing some of the dApps and projects that are built on the layer one start to pump. It happened in Solana, Avalanche, maybe not as much Cardano, but I think Polkadot, $12 to $15 by the end of the year. Dan, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on, my friend. If you guys want more chart guys and you want more Dan, we did drop the link in the chat. So we pinned it to the top. Make sure to go subscribe. And then Dan, any parting words before we let you go, my friend?
I like that DOT setup. I wouldn't put myself in a box of a 2-week time frame by the end of the year, but that's the kind of setup where it's nice and tight and clear. And so, I'm going to go over to our chat room and post it and say, if you're looking long, here's the clear levels to be playing off of. So it's nice and clear, which is a good thing. And again, it is a bullish setup right now, as long as that What's the low of the sucker punch? That is 628. I don't think I've said sucker punch this many times in a 20-minute span.
It's kind of making me want to sucker punch Robin right now.
Well, I don't want to be liable for that, but
fair enough.
I'll be gone soon.
You know, Dan, I don't mind boxes. I love being put in boxes. It's my favorite. I love putting my back against the wall, giving my price predictions. But Dan, thank you so much. We love having you on, my friend. We look forward to bringing you on again next week. Until next time, brother, take care.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you.
What do you think, Robin? $12 to $15 polka dot by the end of the year?
No. Dan said it in a nice way. He's like, I don't see it happening in 2 weeks.
All I know is I love boxes. Go ahead, Robin. Give some love.
Real quick, if you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We do have a few new people. We got Eric Wallen, Saeed, Morgan Saylor, R3A, Stephen Ray, Sun God, and Murph Dog. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, we got 50 likes and 120 viewers. First of all, where's everybody at? They watching the Fed? They're watching the Fed.
He's going to say the same thing, man.
Yeah. Well, actually, he did say something different. He said that there's going to be 3 rate cuts, or they're forecasting.
Actually, we will show the beginning of his press conference. So stay here.
Yeah.
If you would like to
3 rate cuts coming 2024. So we're seeing a big rally in the traditional markets. S&P 500 is rallying. Bitcoin is also up. This is pretty sure it's all correlated to that, right? Bitcoin moving. So I mean, at the end of the day, the printer's going to get turned back on. That's not only what's happening here.
Not only that, Rob, but once the printer turns back on, the dollar starts to weaken. And when we know the dollar starts to weaken, risk assets start to pump. And the money printer goes, brrr.
Stop it with that, man.
Ashley, I got a question. Ashley. What do you think about money printer go brrr? Do you like that? Is that okay? Or?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, for your sake, I'll stop doing it. Not for Robin's. I want to make it very
Thank
clear.
you so much.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
We are waiting for Jerome Powell to hit the stage. Well, while we wait for Jerome Powell to hit said stage, Robin, what will happen first? $10 ADA or $1,000 Solana? The community seems to, 71% of the community seems to think that a $10 ADA will happen first. You think either is probable in the next bull market, and if it's not this bull market, then which one will happen first in the long term?
You know, it is a 15x roughly, or like 13,
So?
14x for both. They're both this right around the same amount. Solana's $68, Cardano 62 cents.
Yeah,
do the math.
about 15x.
Yeah, somewhere between 12 and 14x. You checking my math?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I'm hoping you don't give a BS politically correct answer. Well, you got to pick one, man.
I would say Solana.
Thank you.
I think that, and Cardano is gonna be one of the top performing altcoins this next bull market. I am not trying to sell them short. And even then, I'm a little bit hesitant to say Solana. However, I mean, I'm a little hesitant to say Solana, but yeah, I just got to go Solana, man. There's just too much. There's too much community there that's building. There's too much community that's putting everything together. The devs are there. The dApps are there. The users are there. The TVL is there. But
so Solana?
Yeah.
Let's hear what Jerome Powell has to say. Jerome Powell, Solana or Polkadot?
Ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain. As we look ahead to next year, I want to assure the American people that we're fully committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal. Restoring price stability is essential to achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Since early last year, the FOMC has significantly tightened the stance of monetary policy. We've raised our policy interest rate by 5.25 percentage points and have continued to reduce our securities holdings at a brisk pace. Our actions have moved our policy rate well into restrictive territory, meaning that tight policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation, and the full effects of our tightening likely have not yet been felt. Today, we decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Given how far we have come, along with the uncertainties and risks that we face, the committee is proceeding carefully. We will make decisions about the extent of any additional policy firming and how long policy will remain restrictive based on the totality of the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has slowed substantially from the outsized pace seen in the third quarter. Even so, GDP is on track to expand around 2.5% for the year as a whole, bolstered by strong consumer demand as well as improving supply conditions. After picking somewhat over the summer, activity in the housing sector has flattened out and remains well below the levels of a year ago, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates. Higher interest rates also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment. In our summary of economic projections, committee participants revised up their assessments of GDP growth this year, but expect growth to cool, with the median projection falling to 1.4% next year. The labor market remains tight, but supply and demand conditions continue to come into better balance. Over the past 3 months, payroll job gains averaged 204,000 jobs per month, a strong pace that is nevertheless below that seen earlier in the year. The unemployment rate remains low at 3.7%. Strong job creation has been accompanied by an increase in the supply of workers. The labor force participation rate has moved up since last year, particularly for individuals aged 25 to 54 years, and immigration has returned to pre-pandemic levels. Nominal wage growth appears to be easing, and job vacancies have declined. Although the jobs to workers gap has narrowed, labor demand still exceeds the supply of available workers. FOMC participants expect the rebalancing in the labor market to continue.
All right. Blah, blah, blah. Wow. He shared some great information I've never heard him say before. Robin, what do you take from that? I was hoping to talk about the rate cuts, but hey, it is what it is.
Labor market. Well, everything was positive, right? I mean, you can say that in his tone of voice, it doesn't sound positive, but everything was positive. He was saying the labor market, getting closer to 2%. And so, he basically, you don't want the dude to drop a bomb and say, hey, unemployment's too high, XYZ, watch out. We're going to cut rates. I mean, we're going to raise rates. Anything that indicates raising rates, basically bad. So
They're done raising rates.
yeah.
Done.
But that's what I'm saying is that as long as he doesn't say anything, as long as he doesn't say anything that spooks the markets, he doesn't talk about one of the metrics, whether it's CPI or core or unemployment. If he's not highlighting those as ammunition to raise rates, then essentially nothing he can say would really be negative, right?
I agree.
It's just everyone's just on pins and needles looking for little words to indicate what is the Fed going to do. And well, they came out right before the meeting, indicated that they're going to cut rates 3 times. That's all we need. That's it. We're going to boil this thing down. You don't need to watch a 2-hour video press conference. All of this is very simple. Rate cuts are coming in 2024. Bull market's coming in 2024. Bitcoin all-time highs coming in 2024. Stack the ETF. Stack the halving on there. It's about to get real out here, guys.
Yeah.
It's about to get real. This is what you've been waiting for. And the one thing that we've been kind of hesitant on is the monetary policy with the Fed, also the recessionary implications of 2024. Those both seem to be a non-factor now, right? Recession, less likely. Rate cuts coming. Printer turning on. Having ETF. And then also the cycle is coming around. Bitcoin just pumps
$300,000 Bitcoin. I'm calling it right now.
Over $1.3 billion.
What he said.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Forrest is in the chat. Forrest, we missed you on Friday, brother. We hope you the beautiful little baby was already leverage trading probably, and your wife are doing great. We miss you. We look forward to having you on this Friday. Now, if you were bored by Jerome Powell, I'm about to give you a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart, and that is the world's largest oil company, Saudi Aramco, has partnered with SBI Holdings in Japan to potentially invest in digital assets. Saudi Aramco, which is worth $2 trillion, $2 trillion, has signed a memorandum of understanding with SBI Holdings to explore collaboration in various fields of investment, including digital assets. Now, SBI, they were famous for partnering with Circle and collaborating with Ripple. Can we see some of this money flow into Ripple and pump the price of XRP? Who knows? But Robin, $2 trillion company, the world's largest oil company, they start throwing some money into crypto, man. What are your thoughts?
I was thinking yesterday about MicroStrategy, their position that they're in right now with the Bitcoin, their current stock price, and the direction of the market, ETFs coming down the line. Basically, if you're a publicly traded company, you have got to be taking notice of what's going on with MicroStrategy, right? They're up $2 billion on their original investment on Bitcoin. $2 billion. Let that sink in. $2 billion is not anything to sneeze at. And there you go. Now, other companies got to be taking notes. And if they're taking notes, think about it this way. You got money set aside. You can either go into bonds, you can go into commodities like gold, whatever it is. However, I'll just say that there's going to be other companies following suit. How many more companies coming up in the next 6 months are going to put in a position with Bitcoin? Think about it. What do you think? What do you think it is?
Look at this, Robin. Look on screen.
42,853.
Pump it, bro. Sorry, what was your question?
How many companies are gonna do the sailor move?
I mean, why would you not? And here's the other thing too,
especially if there's an ETF. You don't need to worry about custody because MicroStrategy custodies their own crypto.
But Rob, before you move on from the question you just asked me, this is a massive part of why I do believe more companies are now going to be buying Bitcoin and holding it as a reserve asset on their balance sheet. If you remember, we brought this news a few months ago. FASB has officially adopted the fair value accounting for Bitcoin for fiscal year beginning after December 15th of next year. This upgrade to accounting standards will facilitate the adoption of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve assets. Companies were not able to show that their company was worth more because the Bitcoin went up unless they sold it. Now, fiscal year end or fiscal year beginning, they can look at the fair market value of Bitcoin and be able to add that to their company's valuation without having to sell the Bitcoin and have tax implications. This is massive. According to people like Michael Saylor, this was one of the large reasons other companies were not doing what MicroStrategy is doing. It's like, when everything just starts to line up absolutely perfectly, that is literally what is happening. We are living through it right now. And I wanted to share that while you were still on that point, Robin.
Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. What's the second best? There is no second best. There is no second best.
There is no second best.
Yeah, I remember he brought this up about 6 months ago and with the accounting. I don't remember the exact details, but it was exactly to this point. The dude not only is outspoken and trying to get people, trying to bring the awareness to Bitcoin, but he's actively trying to foster regulation that properly addresses companies like MicroStrategy and what is the ideal structure for them to custody Bitcoin and have it on their balance sheet. Because remember, we saw it with Tesla. They wrote off all of their losses, and we're like, did they sell it all? Like, how come you take into account the price drop and you can mark that off as a loss even though you didn't sell it all?
But Rob, I think the more important thing, Rob, is the upside, right?
Yeah.
being able to show the upside without selling the actual asset when you, especially where a publicly traded company that is always looking to raise money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the financial system's not perfect, but I think this is a step in the right direction. But yeah, no, I mean, back to my point, man. You know, with the Saudi Arabia oil company, I think there's going to be a lot of global companies that look at MicroStrategy, that look at the gains that they've made just in the last few years since they bought Bitcoin. They're up to over $2 billion, and this is before ETF. So let's say that Bitcoin gets to $80,000, right? If Bitcoin gets to 80,000, now they're up 4 billion, right? And I'm sure it's actually going to be more. It'll probably be more than that because
He's probably buying some as we speak.
no, you also got to take into account that people are going to FOMO into the stock as well. And so they're going to have more money coming in. They're going to buy on the way up. And so if Bitcoin were to double, I mean, they're going to be up. They're going to be up.
Stupid.
Yes, well over $5 billion. And other companies have got to be taking a look at that. And don't forget, remember that giant loan that they took out that they was about to get margin called or whatever it was?
Silvergate.
Yeah. You know, they got that at 0% interest. Remember when you could borrow money for free?
Those days are coming again, guys, with the
Yeah.
rate cuts.
So you can borrow, I think it was like $700 million. I think they borrowed, or 1.5 million. I don't remember.
I think it was a 700 million.
700 million.
700 million.
And then, yeah. Looking pretty, look at that smart move now, right? Borrow 700 million, interest free, buy Bitcoin at whatever it was, 30,000, 20,000, 40, even if it's 40,000, doesn't really matter. And then, yeah, ride that thing up. But other companies are going to see that. And I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 3 months, especially with Fed rates coming down, we're going to see other companies buying Bitcoin, at least through the ETF. They might not go the MicroStrategy route and hold it themselves, but just to get a position on ETF makes so much sense.
Speaking of shaking things up, we talked about this when the new president of Argentina was coming in. Argentina has officially devalued their currency by 54%, letting it fall to 800 pesos for every $1 as part of President Javier Milei's shock program to revive the economy. He talked about getting rid of the central bank, and this is part of it. And, you know, I'm not a currency specialist. I'm not a central bank expert. But for me, if I'm living in a country where every single year I'm losing 140% of my purchasing power, what do you got to lose, man? What have you got to lose? Just get it over with. You got a serrated knife in your ribcage. Just shove that thing in instead of slowly pricking and prodding it in. Just get it done and over with. Let the pain go. What, you don't like that analogy?
That's a horrendous analogy.
That's a good analogy. A little gory, brutal, but it's a good one.
Okay. Yes. Take the serrated knife and get in there. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
And when would that analogy ever actually be real? Just curious.
do I need to really spell out the circumstance? We also have this piece of news. JP Diamond is speaking out of 3 sides of his mouth, as JP Morgan has tripled their internal crypto team, all while their CEO bashes Bitcoin, stating that he would ban it. He would ban Bitcoin, but hey, let's hire more crypto people. This is the exact same move JP Morgan used with a gold spot ETF, and they used it to short the market. Let's take a look at Coinbase is listing Bonk. Rob talked about Bonk yesterday. This is something you should get into. We said no. And Coinbase came out pretty much saying they're going to list Bonk. And Bonk says here it rallied, but it actually is down. If I take a look at Bonk on the on CoinMarketCap, take a look at where is it at? What is price action looking on Bonk? There it is. So we are currently down on the day. You can see on the 7-day chart here, we are looking. We're trending back up again, but again, these meme coins, you never know. For every 1,000 that are launched, you get one Bonk. You get one Shiba Inu, you get one Pepe, right? So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Coinbase listing this? And a lot of people are saying, hey, Coinbase, how come you're listing Bonk but not Pepe?
I don't have an answer for that as far as why they're listing one versus the other. But interesting, Bonk is up 50% on the 7-day. But for me, that ship is gone. The gains there are the gains have run out there, right? And perhaps you could buy it now and get a 5x out of it. I think that's highly unlikely, but I think the risk versus reward on a meme coin at the point that Bonk is at, I wouldn't touch it. But for me, it's more of an indictment of the space, right? I would be looking at other meme coins if that's what you're into. You want to take some risk. You want to identify.
What about
some meme coins.
Cock?
I would, yeah, sure.
It's an Avalanche meme coin.
Yes, I'm very aware.
So are you going to buy Cock?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It seems like that's it's all that's on your mind today. He came in today. He's like a little child. He came in today. He's like, you seen the new meme coin? And I was like, bro, get out of here.
Literally not what I said.
Yeah, that is exactly.
Thanks for trying to make me feel bad. Or make me look bad. Anyways, continue. I don't even know what you're saying.
I'm saying identify meme coins in other projects, okay? That's what I'm saying. And if that's your thing, right now, we've seen the likes of Bonk. Solana's ecosystem rallied. It's the meme coin of Solana, okay? So the next ecosystem to pop off, well, there's Polygon, Cardano, Avalanche. Maybe David's dreams will come true if Avalanche pops off. He can
look at this Cock, man. Look at this. It is it's down 12.5%. But yesterday someone asked on the show, or someone asked on Twitter, would you buy it? I said if it's under 100 million and you have an appetite for risk, FOMO into it. Who cares? Screw it.
So you got an appetite for that, huh? Okay. All right. So
all right. That's it.
That's it.
Cool. We have this piece of news. Polygon offers seamless asset management with new portal. This is from dailycoin.com. And this cool picture of a guy. No idea what he's doing. He's sitting on a Polygon beanbag. Managing and bridging crypto assets can be complex, with mistakes often being irreversible and costly. However, as a proposed multi-chain Ethereum scaling solution, these are all operations critical to Polygon's adoption. Polygon Labs asserted that the new platform would allow users to manage assets across all Polygon chains and seamlessly bridge to and from the Ethereum network with a single interface. And we have this video from the Polygon team. Pretty clean looking portal, man. So in that video, it said Polygon, the mainnet, the ZK, and the rollup. So Polygon will be migrating to a new token. Matic will be replaced by Poly, P-O-L-Y. And this is the Polygon portal page. It is currently in beta mode. And you can see here, beautiful interface, pretty easy. You can, again, transfer to the different chains. You can swap. It has all your transactions on here. And then it has an ecosystem tab as well. So just to show you kind of the interface, got that Solana feel to it. I think that's part of the reason I really enjoy Polygon and Solana is because it's sexy, right? It looks sexy. It's easy to use. It's very user-friendly. The user experience is at the forefront of what they're trying to do. Rob, what are your thoughts on what Polygon is doing? And what are your thoughts on this new portal?
Looks clean. I'll say that same thing I've been saying all week. Watch out for Polygon. They are still moving, building, upgrading. They just haven't had any major announcements in the last few months, and I think that's what's kind of subdued the price. But I don't know, man. They're all these little features and capabilities are things that are going to be used during the next bull market, right? The thing is people aren't using DEXs right now. Now there are degens out there. There is TVL. There is transactions. People are swapping, but when I say they're not using it to the potential that people advertise. And so to facilitate the world's financial transactions, you're talking about remittance payments and sending money to friends, paying for groceries or food or whatever it is, tokenization of real world assets being stored on the blockchain. The list goes on and on. Right now, it's not being implemented. Not on a global scale, not on around the world type of mentality with a billion users. That's where we're going. And I think we're going to get a lot closer to that in the next bull market. I think that chains like Solana and Polygon, the major layer ones, are going to be the ones that really benefit by having the infrastructure built out now. And we might not be using it now. The interface looks clean, but as long as it works, when the bull market comes, people are going to start using it. Companies are going to start leveraging it. And so there you go.
We do have this piece of news from El Salvador. World's first Bitcoin bonds receive regulatory approval in El Salvador. And
these are the volcano bonds.
This is the volcano bonds. Yeah. Could have swore I had more highlighted here. But this is set to go live in Q1 of 2024. Now, just as government bonds are backed by governments, right, in the dollar, Bitcoin bonds can be backed by Bitcoin. We saw what happened with El Salvador when they made Bitcoin legal tender and started buying it, right? Price go up, they paid back all their debt. When people say they weren't, the IMF said, if you are pro-Bitcoin, you're not getting any money from us. Nayib Bukele said, screw you, we don't need your money, and they haven't needed their money. So other countries like Argentina, like Venezuela, like some of the other ones, Turkey, right, that the currency is being debased and inflation rates are high, they're going to look at El Salvador and say, whoa, why are we doing the same thing? Now with volcano bonds, these things are successful. Could this be something that more countries do? Robin, what are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on...
This is how the structure of bonds used to work, right? They used to have gold and they used to issue out a bond in the past. And then that's what gave the bond its value. Days are gone. We went off the gold standard and now bonds are issued by the government and the government says they'll repay it. And well, you just got the full faith of the government and the fiat system. And it is what it is. Now you have a country leveraging bonds backed by Bitcoin. And hey, I mean, there's something to it. If the fiat system were to collapse, I'm sure the bond system would probably collapse as well. But without an absolute total failure, you know that the bonds are represented by something and they're represented by Bitcoin. And I think that if other countries start doing that and their bonds are in demand and are being used, and I think it's a positive. Small country, obviously El Salvador is not known for their bonds. They probably will never be known for their bonds outside of the crypto community, but
they'll be known as the country that adopted Bitcoin.
Yeah. But other countries that have larger economies, if they were to use Bitcoin as, to back a bond, and holy.
So let's take a peek at Bitcoin. So the markets are rallying. The Dow Jones is up a full %. We have Bitcoin up to $42,700. Some of the biggest gainers, Fetch AI is up 15%, up at 64 cents. We're seeing a rally again from Cardano, up 5% on the hour, 13% on the 24-hour. Avalanche officially over $41, again up over 5% in just over the last 1 hour. Stacks is rallying. If Stacks breaks that $1.05, I'd be looking at to get to about $1.35. So that is my price target on Stacks. Caspa is also rallying. That is up almost 7% over the 24 hours. So good news coming from Jerome Powell from the Fed, from the markets. It looks like liquidity is going to start piling in at the perfect time for us crypto degenerates. So we're excited about that. We're also excited about our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow, visit bluewiretech.com. Also, go follow us on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1. We do have a video dropping later today about Solana and why I believe it'll get to $1,000 per token. If you want early access to that Solana video, make sure you are a paid member of this channel. You'll not only be supporting us and what we do here, but you'll also be giving yourself the information before the public gets it. So make sure you have your notification bells pinged for that. Go follow us on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1, and please go support Dan from the Chart Guys. We still have that link pinned in the comment section. Anything else, gentlemen and lady, that you would like to mention before I tornado us out here?
Go ahead. Go crazy.
Don't jump the gun, Ashley.
Hurry up.
Ashley! Perfect timing.
I know.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to come back tomorrow. We're going to have AJ in studio doing some TA. We're excited. On behalf of all of us here, we love you guys till tomorrow.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info.